If you're a newer returning player and you want to get as strong as possible during the Shining Star Forcing event, this video is going to help. So if you don't know what to Star Force, or you just need help figuring out how to spend your Mesos the best way, we're going to go over that in this video. Going over what Shining Star Forcing is, main goal you should have as a beginner or returning player, the items to transfer hammer if you don't have the items we're going to be talking about. So I'm going to go over every single main transfer that there will be. So if you don't have, for example, like an Absolab glove, you'll know what to Starforce instead of the glove so that you can just transfer into the glove when you get it. I do want to say a couple things. So this is not going to be a guide on Starforcing or getting Mesos or getting Absolab or CRA or even transfer hammering. I'm not going to be teaching you all of that. If you don't know any of that stuff, leave a comment down below if you want. I can make a guide on any of those things, as well as any other questions you have in the video. Just leave a comment down below. This is also for beginners. And normally, as a beginner, the first thing you do is you make Meso and drop gear. Since SSF, which is Shining Star Forcing, I'm going to be referring to it as a SSF. It's only 2 times a year, so it's very important to utilize it while it's here. Even if you don't have Meso drop gear, focus your Mesos on this SSF and then make the Meso drop gear afterwards. The other thing I will say is there is a guide that I have written that you can refer to. The link will be in the description. So if you want to go back or if you want to just follow along, you can click this guide and look at it on the second monitor or whatever you want to do. But it is there if you do want, you can look at that. So we're going to go over what SSF actually is. So SSF is you get 100% success rate when you do Starforce 5, 10, and 15. So what that means is, for example, this ring is 10 stars. If I wanted to start to 11, I'd have a 50-50 chance, and it would cost 3 million, right? During SSF, it's 30% cheaper, and you get 100% chance from 10 stars to 11 stars, 5 stars to 6 stars, and 15 stars to 16 stars. So now we're going to talk about the main goal for you as a beginner or newer player that you should be focused on during this event. So the main thing that you want to do is get all of your gear to 16 stars. Ideally, you get all of your CRA if you have it, and all of your Absolab if you have it to 16 stars. A lot of you, or probably all of you, will have the temporary CRA items, and they will last you, I think, around 3 months, and they're also 15 starred already. This is going to be a decision that's up to you, but you could choose to upgrade to real CRA during the Shining Star Forcing event. It is a very good time to do so because it's going to be cheaper to be able to do it now versus doing it any other time, but is up to you depending on how many Mesos you have. So if you don't have a lot of Mesos, just for reference as well, each piece will probably cost around $1 bill, maybe a little less, maybe a little more. So that'd be like 4 bill just in these. I think it is a little less, but just to be safe, just say $1 bill per item. So I would just, depending on your Mesos, I would keep that in mind, take it into consideration, figure out if you want to transfer to real CRA or not. If you're a beginner and it's hard for you to get Mesos, I would most likely not do that. But if you're more into the mid game and you can get Mesos a little easier, then it is an option. So like I said, our main goal is to get 16 stars on all our gear. So that means your Absolab and your CRA should be 16 stars. If, like I said before, you don't have enough Mesos to do it all, I would not focus on CRA because you have temporary CRA for 3 months and it's 15 stars, so it's already very strong. I would focus on getting the Absolab gear, the 16, and some of these accessories, which we'll go over later on. I expect as well, if you are just starting out, I don't expect everybody to have real CRA, or if you don't have both of those, we're going to be going over what you can star instead of those items to be able to transfer into those items. Real quick, I'm also going to go over exactly what CRA is. So if you go into, you can go into the boss content, or you can go into your guide. The guide is easier, so we're going to do the guide. CRA is the Root Abyss, the Chaos Root Abyss bosses, which is Pierre, Vaughn, Crimson Queen, and Vellum. It's the Chaos versions. To be able to do the Chaos version, you have to have completed the normal version of those 4 5 times. So if you complete the normal version 5 times, we can move here as well. So it's this area. It's these 4 bosses right here in each of these doorways. You do each one 5 times, and after that, you'll be able to do the Chaos versions. Once you do the Chaos versions, you will be able to get these, which you can trade for pieces of CRA gear. That's just a real quick explanation of how you get that. But let's say you don't have it yet. You haven't done your 5 days yet. You can't get it. If you don't have the CRA, the top, the hat, and the bottom, you're going to be 16 starring Pencilier gear instead of CRA because you can just transfer Pencilier to CRA when you get it. So one thing to keep in mind, for the hat, you just want the CRA hat or the Pencilier hat. You transfer to CRA. You want 2 pairs of overalls because you can transfer overalls into tops or bottoms. So you want 2 pairs of overalls, both at 16, and then you can transfer one into the top, one into the bottom. For your weapon, you're going to want the Pencilier weapon as well to transfer into the CRA weapon. And if you're at the point where you have an Absolab weapon, you can use that as well. The CRA weapon, which is this Fafnir wrist holder, will transfer into the Absolab weapon. So it would go Pencilier, Fafnir, which is CRA, and then Absolab weapon. And that's the order basically for all that stuff. You just start out with all Pencilier. So if you don't have any CRA at all, just get all of your Pencilier stuff to 16 stars, which will be basically what you do if you have none of the Absolab or CRA stuff. All you're going to focus on is getting all your Pencilier 16 stars. Now we're going to go into shoulders. So one thing real quick with shoulders is you get this shoulder from Magnus. It's most likely the shoulder you're going to have right now. If this is the only thing you have, you don't transfer hammer this up all the way to Absolab. You just use it until you get the antique root or the Absolab shoulder itself. So what you're going to do with this shoulder is you can just, depending on your Mesos, you can get it to 11 stars or you can get it to 15. If you don't have that many Mesos and you want to save it for more transferring stuff, then no, just get it to 10, 11. If you have a lot of Mesos, then you can get it to 15. This will not transfer. If you already have the Abso, obviously do Abso. If you don't have Abso, you can check to see. You go to the former traveling merchant, which this is in Root Abyss, and you use the coins you get from killing Root Abyss either on Chaos or on normal. You can buy the antique root shoulder. So this is a 150 shoulder and it's going to transfer into the Absolab shoulder. So you're going to want to get this shoulder and then get this to 16 stars if you can't get Absolab. It only costs 30 of the normal version coins. You can also get it with the hard versions coins as well, but you get that antique root shoulder and then you get that to 16 stars if you can't get Absolab. If you can't get both, then it's all right. You're just going to have to do it once you can get it, and then you just do your royal black metal shoulder for now. Next is boots. With boots, if you have Absolab, just do your Absolab, but if you can't get Absolab, then you can start out with the Pencilier boots, and then you do the same thing where you get the antique root boots, which you get from the same place. So he sells you shoulders and boots. Both of these you want to use to transfer into Absolab gear. So whatever you can get a hold of in this area, you get to 16 stars. If it's the royal black metal shoulder, you can get it 10 to 15, depending on how much Mesos you have. That's the boots. Next, we're going into gloves. So with gloves, if you have Absolab, obviously do Absolab. If you don't have Absolab, you can do the Penciliers to 16. And if you can get the antique root gloves. So you don't get the antique root gloves from here. What you do is you can type in Mayala. You go to Halesium. Mayala is the shadow shop. These are coins you get for killing Magnus on different difficulties. But if you go to special, you can buy these antique root gloves. So these gloves you can Starforce to 16 and then you can transfer them into Absolab gloves if you don't have Absolab gloves right now. And that'll be your focus. If you can't get the antique root gloves, then just do the Pencilier. Same thing with all this. Whichever version you can get a hold of is the one that you're going to start at 16, and then you're just going to transfer it over until you get to Absolab and CRA. Now we're on to capes. So with capes, same thing. You start out at Pencilier. It does get a little different now. So if you have, or if you can get a Chaos Zakum cape. This is a level 150 cape, so this is going to transfer into the Absolab cape. So if you can get a Chaos Zakum cape, you're going to want to get that to 16. If you can't get the cape, just get a normal Pencilier cape to 16 and then transfer it to the Chaos Zakum and then transfer it to Absolab. One thing I want to point out as well, with Magnus, you're going to get these superior items. They all say superior, right? Like the cape I'm wearing is also superior. You do not Starforce any of these superior items because they cost a lot and the chance is really low and it'll go away if you fail. So for example, if I were to try to Starforce this, as you can see, this is 0 stars, right? Even on an event, you're never going to do this. It costs 55 mil for 0 to 1. There's a 50-50 chance. And let's say I got it to 1 star. I got to 50-50. If I fail the next one, it's going to go back down to 0. So it's really bad. And any of the Magnus gear except the shoulder, you don't want to Starforce. So all of these boots, all of these capes, you don't want to Starforce. You can still use them, but you don't want to Starforce. So for example, if your Tyrant cape, if you have let's say you have the Chaos Zakum cape we were just talking about, and you have a Tyrant cape, the Tyrant cape is better, just use the Tyrant cape, but 16 star, the Chaos Zakum cape, so you can transfer it into Absolab gear. So you can use the Tyrant cape, you can use the Tyrant boots, you can use the Tyrant belt, just don't star any of it. And you're going to have different backups to transfer once you get Absolab stuff. So the next thing is going to be the stuff for Gollux. If you go to this Lucia, you have Superior Gollux, which you're going to get eventually. You probably don't have this now. This takes a while to get. We'll use the example of the engraved Gollux belt. This is a 150 item. So what you're going to get, you will not have a superior Gollux belt if you're a beginner. What you're going to want to get if you don't have it is a golden clover belt, which you get from Pink Bean. So you want these golden clover belts and you want this to get to 16 stars. And once you get it to 16, whenever you get a Gollux belt, you can transfer it to the Gollux belt. So this is the main thing we use to transfer to the Gollux belt, and you want extra backups of them as well. If you can't get that, and you happen to have, let's say, a random 130 Gollux belt, you can use that and then transfer the 130 to the 140. You can, and then transfer the 140 to the 150 version of the Gollux belt. So whatever belt you can get your hands on, ideally, if you have the golden clover, use the golden clover. If you have any Gollux belt 120 or 130, you can just transfer them up until you can get a golden clover, and then use the golden clover until you get the 150 Gollux. Same thing with Kana's treasure. So the superior Gollux ring is 150. The Kana's treasure is a 140. You can only do Princess No one time a week. So if you can get a Kana's treasure, then I would use that, and you're going to get this to 16 stars, and then you can transfer it to the Gollux ring, the superior one, once you get it. Dominator as well. Dominator you get from Arcarium, normal version only, not easy. It's not very common drop at all. It's pretty unlikely that you're going to get this in time, but if you do happen to have one, get this to 16 stars because we transfer this to the superior engraved Gollux pendant. That's going to be your main transfer, so you want to get that to 16 as well. That's basically everything. So the overall is, as a beginner, you want to get all your stuff to 16 stars. Again, if you have these boss accessories that are 10 star, or you have the aquatic letter I think it's like 8, or dark seal, or not a dark seal, a silver blossom ring that's like 10, just max it. So if you have any of these boss accessories that don't go to 16, just max it. But ideally, you want everything to 16. The gear you want to get to 16, if you have it, is real CRA. If you don't have that many Mesos, don't use real CRA. Just keep your fake CRA for the 3 months that you have it, and then save up to use real CRA later on, and then focus on everything else except CRA. So get all the transfers for the Abs Lab. If you have enough Mesos, you could also keep your fake CRA for now and just get all the Pencilier to 16, as long as you have the Mesos. Again, just expect each piece to be like a bill. We want 16 stars. All the CRA, all the Abs Lab. If we can't get the CRA and the Abs Lab right now, then we're going to use what we can get, which for CRA stuff, it's just going to be Pencilier. For the Abs Lab stuff, you're going to get the Antique Root gloves, boots, and shoulder. If you can't get the boots and the gloves, then you're going to do Penciliers for now. If you can't get the shoulder, you're just going to do a royal black metal shoulder until you can get the shoulder. You can't transfer these. If for the cape, you're going to do Pencilier cape. If you have a Chaos Zachem hoodie or cape, then you use the Chaos Zachem hoodie, and then you transfer that to Abs Lab hoodie. For the Gollux stuff, you most likely will not have any superior Gollux stuff. So you're going to want the Kana's treasure to transfer to the ring, the gold clover belt to transfer to the Gollux belt, and then the Dominator pendant to transfer to the Gollux pendant. If you have any questions, leave a comment. Thank you for watching.